Hello everyone. My name is Johannes, Hillje. I'm working for the European Green Party as a campaign consultant, and I've now the pleasure to wake you up for the COP21, for the UN Climate Change Conference in Paris, which will take place by the end of the year. And since May, as a European Green Party, we're running a campaign on climate, which will now find its end with the COP21 in Paris in the end of this year. And I just want to show you this picture right in the beginning to give you a little bit of motivation and enthusiasm that we're not alone in this campaign on climate change. I mean, we have been fighting a climate change campaign maybe for years or decades already, depending on your country, but for this year and for the COP21 we have really strong allies. One of them is Pope Francis. Just yesterday at the UN General Assembly in New York, he stressed once again the need and the urgency to act on climate and urged the national governments to come to an ambitious climate contract in Paris. So this is important to know that we have very strong partners in this campaign, and I will now give you a kind of idea of what we're doing as a European Green Party and how you can join this campaign. This climate campaign is not only run by the EGP alone. The Greens group in the European Parliament joined this campaign as well, so it's a joint effort. Also, the Young Greens, the Federation of European Young Greens, also are part of this campaign. We started this campaign already in May this year, and we took a very, let's say, personal approach to climate change. So we thought we want to start a conversation with people from their personal perspective on climate. And we started with the idea that we, the people, need to fall in love with the earth again. So what we did as the kind of beginning of the kind of launch of this campaign, we asked people to tell us how they realized that climate change is really happening. What was their personal experience with climate change? And we have received hundreds or more than that, hundreds of statements of people, personal testimonials through our webpage. There was a very easy tool where people could upload their own picture and say, this is where I realized, or this is when I realized that climate change is happening. So we received, of course, a lot of pictures of people where they were out in the nature and where they observed that these changes are happening. But we also received a lot of pictures which have put forward solutions to climate change, and the solutions that people put in practice by their own, so in their environment. So this, of course, has to do with transport. This has to do with food and with consumption and shopping and all this kind of stuff where people can make an impact themselves. So we have received a lot of these testimonials, and this was kind of the launch of our campaign in the beginning of this year. And now it's, of course, to switch or to kind of make sure that we can mobilize these people that we had incorporated in our campaign in the beginning of this year. We have to mobilize them for the COP21 in Paris to make sure that we send a very strong signal to the governments by the end of the year to conclude an ambitious climate contract at this conference. We have a lot of things to offer for you, for also the local branches of our member parties in this campaign. And I just want to give you some kind of ideas of how you can make use of these tools. First of all, this kind of material that you already find around here in this conference with the bags and all this kind of stuff, this is all available to you as well. As a European Green Party, we always run kind of open source campaigns, so the material is accessible to you. You can change the material as well to add your own party logo and to really customize it to your needs. So this is all available to you. And if you have a kind of event planned on climate change in the coming weeks or months, please contact us if we can assist you in any way to make this really a Paris moment event. And there's another nice initiative I want to mention. Many of the MEPs from the Green Group, the members of the European Parliament, have declared that they would like to support your local events as well. So there's a list of MEPs who are willing to travel to your event and give a speech or join a panel discussion or whatever at your event, and they said they would take care of the costs there, on their own. So they would pay the travels from their own expenses to join your local event. So if you're interested in having one of these speakers from our European Parliament group, please get in touch with us and we'll make sure that this person can come. A topical focus of our campaign is carbon divestment. Carbon divestment means so taking money or removing investments out of the fossil fuel industry. And this is a topical focus since the beginning of our campaign. We just had a huge global divestment conference in Paris that we organized together with the NGO 350.org. And we believe it would be a very beautiful sign and also a nice tool if we would have like an initiative in every member state of the European Union, every country, maybe from our member parties, from you, from the local level, a divestment initiative that you say, okay, we try that our city divests from fossil fuels, that they remove their investments from fossil fuels. And if you start this initiative, this would be, of course, a great sign just before the COP21. Just to give you a little bit of background on divestment, this movement is already quite strong and it's a worldwide movement. It came over to Europe from the United States. Until today, 2.6 trillion US dollars have been already divested by public institutions. And you can see in the diagram on the right-hand side that 12% of these institutions are governmental institutions, and most of these governmental institutions are local level institutions, so municipalities, city councils, and so on. So this is really the place, the local level where divestment can take place, and we believe that this could be a very strong tool for the climate change movement and a tool for you to engage in this campaign. Last thing I want to kind of suggest to you is, of course, the big demonstration and mobilization that is going on for Paris as such, for the COP21. There will be a big People's Climate March on the 29th of November. And we as the European Green Party would be very happy if there would be like a delegation coming from each of our member party to Paris to really show and make sure that we have a strong green presence at this demonstration. This People's Climate March already took place last year in New York. There were 300,000 people on the street in New York, and we believe we can do better. We should do better. So let's try to get 500,000 people on the streets of Paris. And I want to want to suggest to you that you come with your activists from your member parties and join us in Paris. We will make sure that there is a kind of gathering of all green activists from our member parties in Paris, that there will be a space where you can network, where you can meet other Greens, so that we as Greens really kind of create a little COP21 community in Paris. And there's already another nice initiative for this demonstration in Paris. So if you're really serious about it, and if you're serious about climate change, then you take your bike and go by bike to Paris. There are volunteers or people, activists that have declared that they will do this from Germany, from Belgium, from the Netherlands, even from the UK. So they will take first a boat and then they will go on their bike. So we have organized a common meeting point outside Paris just before the start of the COP21 on the 27th of November. They will meet in Zévran, that's a city 20 kilometers out of Paris, and then they will go together the last 20 kilometers to arrive jointly in Paris by bike. So last slide I want to show, this is more the kind of timeline until Paris. For us as the EGP, when it comes to the mobilization for Paris, we will launch next month kind of transport sharing platform on our website where people can say, oh, I will go by car or by bus or by train, or I will walk to Paris, please join me. So we want to kind of make sure if someone is looking for a lift to Paris, he or she can find other fellow Greens to go together through our platform. And then, as I said before, we will start on the 26th on November in Paris. There will be some events of the Green Group and the European Parliament. Then we will have the meeting of the cyclists, and then we will all go together to the big march on the 29th in Paris. So thank you very much, and let's turn the COP21 into a real Paris moment.